Welcome to New Day. Today happens to be the last edition for the year 2014. We are so glad that you're part of it today. My name is Tunbosun Gilbert. It's beautiful to have you with us.
Yes, it's beautiful to have you with us today, knowing that we spent 364 days already this year.
You're counting?
Exactly. Tomorrow makes it the last day.
Finally.
But on Thursday, Tunbosun, we'll have a new year.
2015.
The only prayer right now is that we all live to see Thursday and beyond.
Amen to that. Anyway, the program is the voice of the new generation. We'll be back after this break. By the way, we had a beautiful Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
and we're looking forward to a very beautiful 2015. Please stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Thank you.
Wanna be in the know? Tune into the show. It's called a new day now in your zone. Touching the work and career. Ends up in the play zone. Take luck to entertain. Inspire to make you feel at home. And it's all about you. It's all about you. New day. Voice of a new generation. New day. Voice of a new generation. It's the new day. Voice of a new generation. New day. Voice of a new generation. It's a new day.
I'm a princess by birth, the creative designer of the Potter's signature. I went to school like every other person did. My first degree was in political science, then later on I went to read law on my own. Initially I was in a paid employment, and then of course I withdrew when the kids started growing, and then I went into self-employment. A year ago, I went into real estate business then, and after a while, I noticed that the real estate business was nosediving. So a year ago, I actually got a gift of an Ankara bag, and I saw that it was not too well made. So I looked at the details, and I love bags. I buy bags a lot. I said, look, I can actually do something better than this. And then I went to work. I got a few boys together. We started. And whenever we come out with a product, I'll give it to somebody and say, look, can you just criticize this for me? For some people, it was a free gift time because I gave out a lot of bags. I couldn't sell when I started. And then 2 months into that, we got it almost right. And a lot of people were like, Princess sells bags? I said, no, I make bags. And then I found people bringing bags for me to cover. I said, no, we don't cover bags. We make from the scratch. Initially, I started with handbags. Everybody liked them. I work mostly with Ankara, but must be an Ankara that has a theme. I started my business with my scarves. And then my mother gave me 36 pieces of prints. Some were Hollandaise, some were high target. She just bombarded me with fabrics when she saw what I was doing. And then, you know, in those days, there was the Okunawa damask, which was the vintage. So the very first few ones I did was from the turquoise damask my mom used at my brother's wedding. And those who know, you know, what the Okunawa damask is all about, we just wanted more and more and more. So I said, you know what? You give me damask, the old ones, not this China, I'll give you a vintage bag. So I started. And then I did the very first backpack in damask, which my son carries to school. If people like the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, carries my label, the First Lady in Lagos State, Mrs. Dame Bimbola Fashola, carries my label, it only goes to show that it's not only for the rich. It's a one-stop shop. And up till now, we have products that are 3,000 naira. The phone cases. I have sling bags for young girls that are between 8,000 and 10,000. So there is something for everybody. It's not just for the rich. The only challenge I had in the cost of production initially was, okay, am I going to leave them plain? Am I going to kilt them like the Chanel design? So initially we started with the plain bags. They were not kilted. So after a while I said, okay, you know what? Let me carve a niche for this product. Let's just go kilted. So ever since then, the trademark of the Potter signature is the kilting. People do ask me, can you train? I said, I can't train. That's the only snag in my business. I can't train because, one, the secrets to my business, I know it. I was at an exhibition and a young lady who also does bags came to me and said, your bags are very solid. They're structured bags. How do you do it? I said, that's my trade secret. I give glory to God. When they look at my products, they say to me, do you produce abroad? I said, no, we produce in Nigeria. And I buy my accessories from Mushin. Everything is locally sourced. Nothing is imported. We have everything right here. And I buy from here. I now traveled at some point. And when my luggages arrived, they were the regular black 2mm luggages. And I had to wear my glasses to look for my luggage. The Holy Spirit gave me an inspiration that why can't you just do a suitcase in Ankara? It will stand out. And then you don't need to look for it. So as soon as I arrived, went back to work, and I said to my guys, we're doing luggages. So I designed this, is my hand luggage, and the set of suitcases here are my luggages on wheels. Then I traveled the following week and everybody saw my luggage coming out. Where did you get this from? All I did was I gave them a product card. I got 2 orders. So I went back to Mushin and I looked for one of my boys. I said, I need those trolleys. So we started. When it's converted, it looks like a car. When it's standing, it looks like a luggage. And then this came. This was the first set I traveled with. And I tell you, I did 4 of these afterwards. Keep watching New Day on NTA2 Channel 5.
Yeah, that was Princess Debola telling you to keep watching New Day on NTA2 Channel 5. And she was on the leading edge on today's episode. Tunbosun, that was mind-blowing. Ankara bags. I just imagine myself traveling to the airport, you know, to like the Bahamas for holidays.
Bahamas indeed.
Tunbosun. What do you like? Why you like pulling my hand like this? I don't like it.
All right. Sorry.
I was going to the Bahamas, you know.
With Prince Charles. I continue.
I'm not, yeah, talk.
All right, so I'm listening.
You know, it's very good. It stands you out. You're at the airport and everybody sees black suitcases or blue, and you're with the Ankara on. You do, like you said, the Holy Spirit and inspiration, and I'm pretty sure most people out there, Holy Spirits have given them inspiration, and Nigeria is really, really turning for the better.
Exactly. So if you know you have an inspiration, it's time for you to bring it out. And even, you know, while listening to her, she talked about the trade secret.
Oh, yeah.
She talked about everything is...
I keyed into that.
Exactly.
I keyed into that. You know, normally when you're into business and people tell you, okay, can you train me? You train them and you divulge all of your secrets. Now, she has told us that, hey, that could be dangerous because you're creating another competitor for you out there.
Exactly. And things like that. It's very educative, and I actually learned something from there.
What did you learn?
The trade secret.
Yeah.
Then in the fact that, you know, everything she does, she said, she actually mentioned Mushi. That means that from Nigeria, you can actually start something from the scratch and, you know, have it from the world-class standard. And everything is right here from Nigeria.
No need for importer, exporter.
General merchandise. All right, can we have the rundown for today?
Oh yeah, today's edition, like we all know, on Tuesdays is the wind-up edition, and we're having the milestone segment today as well. There's something interesting in the milestone segment. I'm tempted to tell you what it is, but hey, don't worry, I'll let that segment come and for you to be the judge of how interesting it is. Okay, and because we know that today is the last edition for this program, we've decided to dedicate the Inspire Me segment to nation building. So we have with us architect Olaboludele Simoyan. She's actually an author and also a nation builder. Now, what it is about Nigeria that we have to build this nation about? Don't worry, you will get to know much about that on the Inspire Me segment. Yeah, for you to be part of the show, don't forget our social media handles are always there, open, awaiting your own contribution and to a large extent suggestions as well. On Twitter, it's www.com/@NewDayTvShow, and on Facebook is www.facebook.com/NewDayTvShow. So send in your messages and you'll be sure I'll read them on the show today. Yes, and on the business intelligence segment, almost every time you hear somebody tell you, I want to start a business, I don't have capital, how do I go about it, and this and that. So many and this and this and this. Don't worry, on the business intelligence segment today, we'll have a topic, and the topic is capital. We have somebody that is a serial, and when I saw that thing, serial, because most times when you hear about serial, what you hear is serial killer. But now it's serial entrepreneur. Serial number as well, come on. So we have a serial entrepreneur today on the business intelligence segment, and he's going to be talking about capital. Yeah, so let's go straight off to business. And on the Inspire Me segment, like Tunbosun rightly pointed, we have Mrs. Simoyan, an author and a nation builder, a passionate patriot, whichever one you choose to qualify her as. Good to have you on the show. Good afternoon.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Happy New Year in advance.
Yes, same to you. Awesome New Year in advance.
Oh, awesome.
Terrific
Fantastic.
New Year in advance. Extraordinary New Year in
advance.
Okay.
Oh, really? Good. Even with all those things, I think she's passionate about people.
Exactly.
She's wishing us so many things for 2015. And the very first day I saw you, you had this hairstyle on and you had this Nigeria's trademark, and I was like, excuse me, who is this very patriotic Nigerian even with a hairstyle, you had the way you wrapped it around or something.
I can't even remember what I was wearing that day, but
you had this way of wrap. I mean, everything was upstanding.
Okay, something similar to this. Probably I used a different color of.
Is that a secret? Because I'm thinking that before you leave, tell our makeup artist, you teach her how to do it, or is that also a fashion secret?
No, it's not. If you want to learn, I'll show you how to do it.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So we'll be expecting it from you on Thursday or next week.
Watch out. Okay, so let's listen.
So you're an author. You write books, or you've written a book. So what's the name of the book you've written, and when was it?
I've written a 2-in-1 book which is titled The Eighth Wonder of the World Made in Nigeria and The Eighth Wonder of the World Made in Niger. I see myself more as a patriot writing a book than an author writing a book about nation building. I wrote a book because I was pregnant with the new Nigeria. I got tired of the way things were in Nigeria. And I said, from the citizen's point of view, there's something I can do. So I put pen to paper and put my thoughts together, and that's how I came about the 2-in-1 book, which is The Eighth Wonder of the World Made in Nigeria, where we are, then The Eighth Wonder of the World Made in Niger, where we're going.
Well, that's interesting.
A vision for a new Nigeria, the Eighth Wonder vision, and where we should be 5-10 years.
Oh, so we have normal 7 wonders of the world, so Nigeria is now the 8th wonder. So I like that, and I think I'm buying into that as well.
Okay, then maybe I'll do the 9th wonder. Anything can happen.
And the 8th wonder is actually a concept. The 8th wonder is actually something extraordinary, something amazing, something fantastic, something that we will all build together. You will do 8th wonders as an individual Nigeria, create 8th wonders, and then as a nation we will build Nigeria into the 8th wonder of the world. When you say something is an 8th wonder, it's always something that's like the 7 wonders combined and more.
Yeah.
Okay. And talking about nation building, I want to ask you from the angle of a youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you think the youth's actually doing enough when it comes to nation building?
Doing enough. Well, if you look at the entertainment business, they started from
Is
scratch.
it only entertainment?
No, well, I mean, you asked me a question. You're actually putting me on the spot. I'm a diplomat kid, so I'm diplomatic in answering questions. The entertainment business started from basically scratch, and we built something that's now international. Nollywood as well, from scratch, and it's now international. So in some areas, IT as well, a lot of young people are doing fantastic things in the IT sector. Yes, there's a lot of more work that needs to be done in other areas, but I also feel the older generation also needs to mentor and model for them what they can do to become nation builders, patriots, problem solvers, solution providers in the new Nigeria that we're building.
Okay. So if you step onto the streets now and you take the opinion or you assess the opinion of about 10 youths, most of them are like, okay, fine, Nigeria, it's our country, it's fine, but the excitement, the 100% excitement you expect is not there. Probably just half of that. So what do you tell that youth, that young man out there, in order to give up on the Nigerian dream, the 8th wonder?
Well, that is relative.
Yeah.
On an everyday basis, maybe people are not too excited, but during the World Cup, there were some things that we did during the World Cup.
Oh, you love football as well. Fantastic.
I love Nigeria. I just love football, so by default. So we had this victory walk, I Dare Believe campaign, and on the streets, people that the average Nigerian that people say are not patriotic, when it comes to football, it's like, yes, we're walking we had different walks at different times. There was one time we walked from K2, that was last year, K2 to CMS. It was a 6.5-hour walk, and people were hailing us. They were really excited. Yes, we're going to the Confederations Cup, we're going to play, we're going to win, because we were trying to inspire the Super Eagles then to go there and win the Confederations Cup. That was last year. And so it's relative. Nigerians are patriotic when we're playing football, when Nigeria is in an international competition, we're patriotic. But on a daily basis, we need to build up that patriotism in our daily affairs. What can I do on a daily basis to begin to become the new Nigerian of...
looking for.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, while you were talking, we actually showed the pictures of some of the things you've done and things
the
like
walk,
that.
especially the victory for the Super Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that when you want to start something, we have people discouraging you, we have people, hailing you, and what exactly will you call challenges of nation building from your perspective as a patriotic Nigerian?
Well, there are challenges from all different angles, and people think, well, I'm an architect by profession. Why in the world would I want to do something like nation building? Like I was telling another guest that's coming on the show, that I see myself as a leadership architect, and instead of building buildings, I'm building new Nigerians, and I'm changing mindsets. And it's a road it's a challenging road, but when I talk to people now say, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because really nation building is not really difficult per se if we understand how it works, and but there's nothing in life that doesn't come without challenges. And as far as I'm concerned, okay, so there's a challenge, how do I deal with it? Deal with it and move on. Deal with it and move on. If you don't know how to deal with it, there are other people that know how to deal with it. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. Ask people a lot of questions. Okay, I've done a lot of things that I'm not like. I wrote a book. I studied architecture because I didn't like writing, and then I now wrote a book because I was pregnant with a new Nigeria.
Exactly.
So it's actually an irony. But when I was writing the book, I got a lot of information. Asked a lot of questions. How do you go about this? How do you go about publishing? It was self-published, but the thing about it is you just keep asking questions. If you're going into a new area, if you ask enough questions and you're open to the answers you get, and then sometimes you have to adapt the answers to your own situation. But the thing is, just keep focused, keep the goal in view, and make sure the goal is to finish writing the book, get it published. Okay, now I've gotten it published. Now my goal is to get the message to as many Nigerians as possible. Definitely. So you just must keep your eye on the ball and going. You're going to always have challenges. People are going to discourage you. People are going to say, oh, is that the only thing you can do? People are going to say, but Nigeria is worth it.
Definitely.
Nigeria is
so don't look left, don't look right.
The joy that I get, especially when I'm talking to young people, I mean, they just, yes, let's go for this thing. The joy I get just talking to them, and they just sponge up everything you have to say. I mean, when I finish talking, I'm actually exhausted, but it's a good kind of exhaustion. When I finish talking to young people and they've sponged everything, in fact, they're asking questions, and I'm like, there's hope for this nation. There's definitely hope for this nation.
All right, talking about balls, on the screen, we saw a couple of your hairdos, your hairstyles, and in one particular one, you had a ball on your hair.
Actually, during the World Cup, the idea was to inspire the Super Eagles to go to the World Cup and bring the World Cup back home. So one of the things I was doing, aside from the victory work that I did with other people, I did different hairstyles.
Look at it. Fantastic.
Different hairstyles. The first one I did was the veil was slightly bigger than this, and when we did the I Dare Believe campaign and I saw people's reaction, I said, I've got something here. It's hard to impress Nigerians because we've been disappointed for so many years. But people were saying it's extraordinary, it's innovative, it's out of the box, it's one of a kind. And I said, but that's what I'm saying in my book. I'm actually using the hairstyle to preach the message of the new Nigeria and to preach the message of the eighth wonder, doing something that's out of the box, doing something that's one of a kind. So I was only supposed to use it for that day, but then I now realized that if I'm getting this kind of reactions, let me continue to carry the hairstyle. I carried the first hairstyle for about 2 weeks.
With a ball?
Yes. And
around the streets of Lagos?
Yes, and people would take pictures. Take the public transport around Lagos. Someone in a bus just did click. I said, who's taking me a picture of my hair? I said, if you want a good picture, just take my permission and I will stand and I will pose for you. So the person said, okay, madam, can I take a picture? I said, yes. And I stood up and every other person in the bus now took out their camera, their phone, and they started taking pictures, and I all over Lagos. In fact, in the market as well, marketplace, somebody was just snuck up behind me and I said, who's that? Just take permission. I said, okay, I said, no problem. Every other person now brought out their cameras and so I just said, look, if we're going to build a new Nigeria, we have to think out of the box. We have to do things differently. Yes, it wasn't convenient. Sleeping at night, the first wasn't exactly easy.
I was going to ask that.
And it was bold. That's another thing people said. It was bold. I said, yes, we're going to build a new Nigeria. We have to begin to do bold things, things that are different, and things that are one of a kind. We must begin to set the pace so that years from now, people, if they do it abroad, you'll say, we did it in Nigeria first.
Making reference to what you said, some time ago in UK, parents, they were dressed in the tradition. Actually, their son's graduation, and they were dressed in this traditional attire. And there was this woman, a white, and she was looking and looking. She just couldn't help herself. She said, "Excuse me, are you a Nigerian?" With so much pride and dignity. They're like, "Yes, we are Nigerians.
Exactly. And we're flying our colors."
Yes, and we are flying our colors. So that, from what you've said now, that even through the way you dress and things like that, you can actually identify even with your country, wherever you are, and things like that. Okay, we're coming back to you, but we need to go for a very short break, and the program is still The Voice of the New Generation. Please stay with us.
Wanna be in the know? Tune into the show. It's called New Day, now in your zone. Touching the work and career. Ends up in the play zone. Take luck to entertain. Inspired to make you feel at home. And it's all about you. It's all about you. New Day. Voice of a new generation. New Day. Voice of a new generation. It's the new day. Voice of a new generation. New Day. Voice of a new generation. It's a new day.
Mọ́mí Bọ́láńlé ẹ káàárọ̀, Ìyá Kúdí ẹ káàárọ̀, customer.
Make we dey always follow our conscience because e dey tell us the correct thing.
I suppose sabi waiting good.
Do the right thing. Let's change the way we think.
Come back. We're still in the Spy Me segment on the show New Day on 98.2 Channel 5. And let's go to Twitter. We have a couple of, congratulatory messages, I would say. This one, Temitayo, and he's saying that congratulations, Ma. It's an inspiring thing you are doing for us, the youth. This one coming from Chidima. Chidima on Facebook. She's saying that how can we join this movement?
One of the things I've done as per my own contribution to nation building is that you can actually download the books for free online. If you go to nigermania.com, you can download the 2 books for free, and then you can send me a message at the website Nigermania. That's NAIJAMANIA. The books are free, the e-copies, free of charge. My contribution to nation building, saying that we have to give back in order for us to be able to build the new Nigeria we want.
All right.
Okay. Now, talking about Nigeria, if I ask you from your own perspective, what are the highlights of 2014?
For me, I would say the Ebola issue. For me, Dr. Adodove, what she did at the citizen level, she exercised leadership at the citizen level, which enabled Governor Fashola and President Jonathan Goodluck to do what they needed to do at the state and at the federal level. If she didn't do what she did at that citizen level, she didn't exercise leadership. All of us know the story. I don't want to go into the story, but if she did not exercise leadership, if she did not take responsibility at the citizen level, only God knows what would have happened in Nigeria. It would have been a catastrophe, and that's the message of the new Nigeria. We all need to exercise leadership at the citizen level, wherever we are. And for me, if we can do it with Ebola, we can do it with terrorism, we can do it with every other area challenges that we have as a nation. If we're exercising leadership at the citizen level, every Nigerian. That was for me, that was because it says we can do it. If we can do it with Ebola, we can do it.
Yes, we can.
Exactly. And there's a price to pay. She paid with her life, and she wasn't the only one that paid with her life. So there's a price to pay. If we think we're going to build a new Nigeria without paying the price, forget it. That's not going to happen. There's a price to pay. There's a sacrifice to make. And she comes from a lineage of patriots and nation builders, and that's why for her, you could say maybe historically she was taught, and then it was easier for her. For many of us that may not have come from that lineage, then we have to learn it. When we see other people doing exercising leadership at the citizen level, I mean, I'm talking about little things, lighting up at the bus stop, keeping the environment clean, keeping you get a dustbin and putting it, those simple things, lining up at the hospital, at the airport, those are the simple things that we need to start off with. Then it makes it easier for us to now exercise leadership at the higher level,
And even as a parent, try as much as possible to educate your children.
One of my friend's daughter actually read my book. Her name is Tenny Tayo, and she read my book, and then later on her father threw some rubbish on the street, and she said, "Daddy, Auntie said we should stop littering the environment." So what I'm just saying is that if we adults are not getting it right, the kids will teach us. And she wasn't one that told me the story. It was her dad that told me, reported himself to me. So those let's start with the little things, and then we can build up on those little things after we've mastered them.
Thank you very much, Architect Olaboludele Simoyan. pronounce it like a Nigerian.
Yes.
Patriotism. And all the very best in your future endeavors.
Thank you
and,
very much.
Have yourself a beautiful 2015.
I will. And you
An
guys.
awesome one, man. Awesome.
Okay, you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say, make sure you have New Day, the staff of New Day, everybody have an awesome, amazing, extraordinary, exceptional.
So
do you want me to go on?
Remarkable,
wonderful, terrific, unusual, uncommon New Year.
And please,
God bless you.
Immediately after the show, please don't go away because my makeup artist is coming to meet you to learn some designs.
No, thank you so much for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. We were speaking with architect Olaboludele Simoyan. She's an author, but more of a nation builder. And she's been inspiring us on the Inspire Me segment. The program is still the voice of the new generation, New Day. Right back after this break. See you on the other side. Please stay with us.